Our first take comes from AJ Analysis, and he says that De'Aaron Fox is better than Ja Morant because he is better at shooting, passing, wash-on finishing, scoring, and defense. He averaged 25, and if he had a good team around him, he'll show how good he really is. This is a great take by AJ, but I somewhat disagree with it. De'Aaron Fox is definitely a top 15 point guard in the league right now, but so is Ja Morant, and Ja Morant's team has been a better team than the Sacramento Kings with De'Aaron Fox in the past 1 or 2 years, and I like to go off whose team is better usually. Both these guys have about the same stats, with De'Aaron Fox averaging 25 points, 3 rebounds, and 7 assists, and Ja Morant averaging 19 points, 4 rebounds, and 7 assists, and they both have the same stat line, except De'Aaron Fox has 7 more points per game than Ja Morant does, but besides that, they're pretty much the same player, and Ja Morant averages more rebounds than Fox, so now we have to go off of team success, and in the end, the Memphis Grizzlies have just been a better team than the Sacramento Kings in the past few years, but it's actually not De'Aaron Fox's fault because the Kings management sucks, but this is a great take from AJ. Our second take comes from the Basketball Kid Productions, and he says, yeah, sure, here's one. Bradley Beal will not be traded from the Washington Wizards anytime soon. This is a great take from the Basketball Kid Productions because Bradley Beal has just not gotten available from the Washington Wizards, and is clearly loyal to Washington because if he were not loyal to Washington, he would have requested a trade by now. Even though the Wizards are going in full rebuild mode, Bradley Beal is for some reason still going to stay with them and test the waters, which I think is extremely weird considering Bradley Beal is in his prime years in the league and he's on a rebuilding team who likely will not win a championship for 50 years. So the Basketball Kid makes a great point here. And the Wizards front office is not smart enough to see that Bradley Beal wants to be traded. He's just not trying to request it because he wants to be polite and loyal to the Washington Wizards organization. So if I were Tommy Shepard, the GM of the Washington Wizards, I would be throwing out Bradley Beal right away. But this is a great take from the Basketball Kid. Our next take is from Krishna, and he says, well, I think the Golden State Warriors, looking at a return of veterans who are savvy young players and an 85% Klay Thompson back along with Curry and Draymond, should make at least the conference semifinals. Maybe the finals if Steph performs outstanding. Now, this take by Krishna is kind of a Max Kellerman take in the sense that the Golden State Warriors are not likely going to make the finals this next season, but the Golden State Warriors are a team who will likely be one of the best teams in the West next season considering the circumstances. I mean, they have a ton of their guys from super teams back. Klay Thompson was injured and he's back, and Stephen Curry is looking forward to a full season of action. So I bet they will get knocked out in the semifinals. Our next take comes to us from Mo Vassell, and he says that Nikola Jokic is a better basketball player than LeBron James at the current moment right now. Many people would disagree with Mo, but me and Mo have the same opinion right now in the sense that I dubbed Nikola Jokic a better player than LeBron James in my top 20 players in the NBA ranking video. I mean, Jokic is better than LeBron in almost every category. He has more assists per game. He's going to be a better scorer per game next season. He has more rebounds per game. He's on a better team, the Denver Nuggets. So Mo definitely makes a great hot take here. Our next tape comes to us from Dennis Brown, and he says that Clyde Drexler is better than Allen Iverson and James Harden. I agree that Clyde Drexler is a better player than Allen Iverson because he got farther into the playoffs than Allen Iverson ever did. He made 4 NBA Finals and won one of the NBA Finals he was ever in. Meanwhile, Iverson has 0 titles. And we have to look into, is Clyde Drexler a better player than James Harden? Harden is definitely the more flashy player and is a player that more people like to watch, but Drexler is definitely a better player because of how great he was in the clutch and his ability to get buckets when it mattered. Anyway, thank you guys guys for watching. Click subscribe, turn notifications on, like, share, comment, all the good stuff. And as always, I'm your boy, Hype Hooper Basketball, and we're out.